IVM.
Hi,
You're
listening to IVM.
daily.
Hi guys, welcome to IVM Daily. My name is Navin Narona. Joining me today is Priyanka Ganwani.
Hi.
Priyanka is going to go for a vacation tomorrow onward, so I decided to sit her down and talk to her about the upcoming Oscar season
Oscars.
that's on us. As you can see, like all over the place, there's Oscar buzz happening. Star Movies will telecast Oscar obviously after you've watched it online, and and also there's billboards everywhere promoting Oscar movies, and they're coming into the theaters in Bombay right now. Quite a lot of buzz. I've watched almost all the best picture nominated movies,
Right.
and I want to make some predictions, Priyanka.
Yeah, go for it. So
Have you watched any Oscar film so far, nominated movie so far?
No, I'm probably
Cool. So let me help you make your mind up as
yeah.
to. Ideally, you should watch all the movies that are up for the best picture nominations this year because they're all really good. In general, I feel they have done so much in terms of getting in diversity this year, especially with regards to having strong female leads in Lady Bird, talking about race issues with Get Out, or with Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, or even targeting history with regards to The Post and Call Me By Your Name, which is again about a homosexual story. So a lot has been put into this year's movies, and I really am in a quandary as to which movie should really win this
Yeah.
year. But if you had to ask hands down, I would
Yeah.
say The Shape of Water for me and Lady Bird come very close.
Right.
But The Shape of Water downright is one of the finest films I've seen this year.
Okay.
Because it's technically sound. It's all the movies have really simple stories. I think this is the year where they're like telling us simple stories, not
Right.
complicating it too much, and keeping it focused on one issue or one
Issue.
topic in life in general. And what I like with Lady Bird, for example, Greta Gerwig has directed the movie, and she's in essence been able to capture everybody's life through one coming of age story, which is what I find beautiful. The Shape of Water is a beautiful story about people who have been ostracized, people who have been left behind in life in one way or the other, finding acceptance and joy amongst each other, which we already spoke about on the first episode of IVM Daily.
Right.
So I watched Phantom Thread, which is good. It's Paul Thomas Anderson, and it's got Daniel Day-Lewis in it, so it's gonna be good, but it's kind of slow.
Right.
For the longest time, I was waiting for something to happen in the movie. Three Billboards again is like a very well directed movie, but has certain character motivations which do not convince me so much. I feel Get Out should be ahead in general because of the conversation is happening
Yeah.
around black voices, and finally a filmmaker who's taking the horror genre and spinning it on its
Spinning
head.
it. Yeah. I'm sort of. I mean, shame on me. I haven't even watched The Post, and because you guys have sort of set the build up for me a lot already for The Shape of Water. Again, shame on me. I haven't watched it. I feel like for once I feel that if all these movies were accumulated in front of me, I would just go on a binge because none of this is anything that I would want to miss out on. And as you said, that all of this is either issue specific, and they're picking out situations which are, really, which have been around for a while.
And for like at least 4 of the movies, the marginalized people are the ones who are the leads,
on the forefront.
For example, once again, Call Me By Your Name, 2 gay dudes. Get Out, black dudes. Okay. Then there's Three Billboards again, a mother who's lost her daughter to like a rape. Lady Bird is about 2 women, like a mother-daughter relationship, and a young girl finding love and acceptance in the world. Shape of Water again, like about a mute girl and a gay guy and a black woman and a monster. So I think for a change we have different narratives, and Oscars are finally open to changes.
Right.
I was also reading up extensively about how a movie wins and how the academy is formed, and that's a very interesting way to look at it. This year I hope there are no mess ups like last time,
Right.
when basically Moonlight won and La La Land was called out.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can top it this year. For Best Actress this year, I honestly believe there's no one better than Sally Hawkins to get it, because this woman has been around for a while, and again she's done so much without saying a word. Meryl Streep in The Post has become now we know what to expect from Meryl Streep. Like
Right.
there's no more.
She's a classic.
She's a class, yeah.
She's a
And
classic.
She acts very well. Like every expression on her face, every quiver of her cheek, explains something to you. So again, she's very close. But if you had to compare, like talent-wise, Sally Hawkins and Frances McDormand have done a great job.
Okay.
Because Frances McDormand in Three Billboards is a mother grieving for a child, and is going to is ready to go to any extent to basically find justice for a child's death,
Right.
including breaking people's bones. So that kind of intensity.
I mean, if I may ask you, which film did you think had like the best editing or cinematography, in terms of like your visual appeal? I think as whatever I've gauged in our previous conversations, you said Shape of Water has been...
Yeah. Because they've shot so many beautiful scenes underwater and have treated like water as a very integral part of that. It's not just for the sake of calling it the Shape of Water. They've done that. They've actually put in like brains into it.
Thought about behind
the
it.
post is good because it's designed like the old times in the 70s, but it's you see every year there's a movie like that, and it didn't quite hit the spot with me because Spotlight was a much better journalistic movie,
right,
and about an issue that's really like kind of jarring about the pedophilia in the church. But this one about the government's corruption and everything, it's kind of like we know the story.
You know about it.
Yeah. So cinematography wise, again, like I think Dunkirk is again like very beautifully done. Like there are certain websites that show how how Nolan basically compared like the old time shots with the new ones to give the actual integrity of the set piece.
Okay.
Yeah. So visually, as I said, these two. Best actor this year, my bet would be on Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour.
Okay.
He's playing Winston Churchill and with much intensity and like really powerful dialogue work. And like there's one dialogue in that where basically like the British are losing the war to Hitler, and his corporals and everybody around him are like we have to like negotiate and find a way out of this, and he's like, you can't do a deal with a tiger when your head is in its mouth. You can't do that. So it's like so beautifully said.
Right.
I don't know why Denzel Washington is here, but I think again like Denzel Washington has reached that peak of his acting class level, and I don't think he'll do anything right now that'll amaze us. Daniel Day-Lewis might get an Oscar because this is his last movie. They might want to please him because he said he's going to stop acting altogether, but he's still back. A very interesting addition to Best Actor is 22-year-old Timothée Chalamet, who was in Call Me By Your Name as well as Lady Bird, but he's nominated for Call Me By Your Name. Very promising actor, very, he's got a face that will become like a big star in the future. But for now, he's taking these roles which are very indie, very unique, and he's put in a lot of effort into learning piano, learning French for Call Me By Your Name. So even at this young age, he's putting efforts into his roles, which is nice. But I'd still say Gary Oldman is the
star for you.
Is the promising Oscar winner this year.
Okay.
Next up, let's talk about Best Supporting Actor. I'm really glad Willem Dafoe is over here on this list. The nominations are Sam Rockwell, Woody Harrelson, both for Three Billboards, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, which is it's crazy because he had to shoot the entire movie in less than a month's time after the whole Kevin Spacey thing came out.
Okay.
So his role was being played by Kevin Spacey for All the Money in the World. And after the situation went crazy, they reshot all the scenes with him, with Mark Wahlberg and Melissa Williams, I think, Michelle Williams, sorry. And but the Florida Project is one movie that I'm really sad is not there for Oscar nomination because it's about this young girl and her mother, and they're basically going through the summer.
I was extremely intrigued by it. I missed it again,
yeah,
but of course, it's right now, even on something like Netflix, I'm sorry I'm going a little off, but I've been watching Rita also, and they talk about, it basically this whole flavor of these women, who single women who are managing kids, and they're not really good at it, and there's something it's something that we've known, like people talk about it, and there are articles, and there have been movies about it before, but I'm glad that movies like this really push discussion that hey, it's okay to screw up when you're single or you're too young to manage something, or it's
plus like the gift of the child that she's got, like in that movie, she's like the most doe-eyed, curious little child. going to summer with her friends. I think
Who's figuring it out on her own.
yeah, and what a great actress, that little girl. So I think Florida Project is one of those movies that missed out, but I definitely think Willem Dafoe's acting in this movie is so beautiful, and that guy is just like, his face is malleable and can be anybody he wants to. Best director, I really, really, really wish Guillermo del Toro wins it, just because that man can do no wrong, man. Like, he's been in this industry for 25 years. He won the Golden Globe for the best director, and his speech, like, in retrospect, makes so much sense that, you know, he's found solace in monsters, and, you know, everything that's gone right in his life is because of evil creatures, if so or what people would call them, evil creatures. Again, Nolan has done a great job with Dunkirk, but not his finest. Greta Gerwig, again, great with Lady Bird, but she might just, like, you know, take some time to win an Oscar. If they give it to a female director, nothing like it. But I think Guillermo del Toro or Jordan Peele for Get Out are very strong contenders. Best supporting actress, I would say Octavia Spencer in The Shape of Water. She's got the best lines. Again, I think I'm being a little too you know, unbiased towards Shape of Water, but I'm
leaning towards.
Even Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird had some great scenes with Saoirse Ronan. So let's hope even she comes closer. Leslie Manville is good in Phantom Thread, but she's not all there. So best original music score is what I would like to end this discussion with. There are a lot of good musical scores in this. Again, like Phantom Thread is entirely like a jazz piece playing in almost all the scenes in the background. It's like, you know, it's like watching a very beautiful Raymond ad throughout the film, because this guy is a dressmaker, and he falls for this one woman who's got the perfect body shape, and she's conscious, and this and that is going on. So every scene, like, is highlighted by some musical piece. John Williams did the Star Wars Last Jedi. I'm glad that Star Wars is nominated for something. John Williams, great score. Alexander Desplat's score for The Shape of Water is again mesmerizing. Hans Zimmer's done a great job with Dunkirk. Again, like, this is a very strong category again from films this year, because they have made movies this year which are like very immersive, which take you into the category of the scene that you're looking at, and, you know, really want to lose yourself in there. For Dunkirk, for example, in some scenes there are just like silences, because they want you to feel the loneliness of being stranded on a beach, like how he did with Inception and with like Interstellar. Like when they go to space, like the space has no vacuum, there's nothing happening there, so you basically, the space has vacuum but no noise. So I think a lot can be covered through silences also. If I had to place a bet though which one would win this year, I would say Dunkirk would win again. Like, you know, as I already established that Hans Zimmer is a masterful musician, and he's done like great work with Nolan in the past, along with the award-winning Dark Knight. So let's hope he wins this year. And I think that's all my Oscar predictions for the main categories, at least.
Right.
And we'll be talking in length about this in the coming weeks IVM likes, where Sharanya will join us along with Abbas, and we'll have like a intense discussion. I'll be sitting in the studio with someone who's watched all the movies, so it'll be great.
Yeah, for one.
And so
otherwise Navin is just
a one-man army.
A one-man army, and he's educating us about every movie ever made. So this year. I spent lot of like, you know, data on watching movies this year, and I also spent money in movie tickets, because I went and watched this movie. And RuPaul's Drag Race. Yes, we'll talk about RuPaul in the coming IVM Daily. Shit, I just reminded him of it. Why?
Until then, you can talk to us online. We are IVM Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I am at House of Narona on Twitter.
And I am Priyanka1091. You can educate me as much about films.
Yes.
And stay tuned.
And what are your favorite Oscar nominations this year, and who do you think will win the Best Picture and the other categories? Do write to us. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
As you can see, we have a podcast listener in his natural habitat. Billions of years of evolution have led him to this point. He's on his way to work, and listening to podcasts makes his miserable day better. He will now head to work and use all his knowledge to communicate with other colleagues and possibly future mates. You can find more of his species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out all the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.